Saints will take on the Falcons Sunday at the Dome, 3:25, coming off the bye. I tell you, team's 2-8, but you go into the bye with a win in a divisional game with Tyler Shough getting his first career win. Vibes are pretty good. I'm not saying great, but considering what it felt like amid that losing streak, to come out of it, have Shough play the way he did, 282 and 2 tuds against Carolina, now coming home for a game against the Falcons when they're without their starting quarterback, their best receiver, pretty good. In any event, Ellen took the opportunity when he met with reporters to talk about the bye week with Shough and the two of them being able to work together during that time.
I think it's somewhat normal, but I think it allowed us individually to spend a little bit more time, going through a self-scout and reevaluating everything. And so I think that was good for everyone to kind of step away and see it from their own lens and reevaluate themselves. And so certainly I did a lot of that from an offense perspective. I think a lot of our players obviously did that from an individual perspective. And, I thought Monday was a great day. Everyone came back ready to go. We had a kind of a short little practice just to get our guys acclimated back into football. And you can just feel like everyone's ready to go.
So everyone's ready to go, but you don't have everyone that you normally have. Of course, you didn't have Rashid Shaheed in the win against Carolina. He had already been traded to Seattle. Now you don't have Brandin Cooks either. Now, listen, Brandin Cooks had really been a woeful disappointment this year. Same with Devon Vele. We just call it what it is with those two guys. You signed Brandin Cooks to a 2-year, $13 million contract, and on the season, Brandin Cooks for the New Orleans Saints in 10 games played at 19 catches for 165 yards. I mean, not the production you're expecting from a veteran player that you gave that kind of contract to. And you gave up a 4th-round pick for Devon Vele, and on the season he has 6 catches for 54 yards. Further illustration of why Mickey Loomis is arguably the worst general manager in football. He gave up a 4th-round pick for Devon Vele. He signed Brandin Cooks to a multi-year deal, and now has released him midway through the first year of that multi-year deal. But what it means is Tyler Shough is going to be out there without great options, but it's a really good opportunity then to evaluate him. So Shough looked really good against Carolina. He had no Rashid Shaheed, but Chris Olave played a great game. 282, 2 touchdowns for Shough. Now he comes home for his first home game against the Atlanta Falcons. And the Falcons are a bit of an enigma because that team is on a 5-game losing streak. Obviously, Michael Penix being lost for the season, Kirk Cousins starting, that's the big storyline. But defensively, as we talk about this matchup just with Tyler Shough against the Falcons defense, defensively, Atlanta's 6th in the NFL in pass defense, 188 yards a game. Like, their pass defense has been pretty good, which is why it's so odd that last week they go out and play the Carolina Panthers and allow Bryce Young to throw for 448 yards. That's a franchise record for the Carolina Panthers. 448. The Panthers went into that game 30th in the NFL in passing offense. Only 2 teams in the NFL worse than Carolina throwing the football. And Bryce Young goes and throws for 448 against the Falcons. So is it an outlier? Listen, I think part of that could certainly be coming back from the game in Berlin. Remember, they played an overtime game against the Colts in Berlin. Teams that are coming back from overseas and don't have that bye, it's just tough to reacclimate and go play an NFL game. But now that the Falcons have had that week, they're going back to Kirk Cousins, a veteran quarterback. It'll be interesting to see how that looks just functionally for Atlanta. But we're talking defensively here and how that's going to look against Tyler Shough, making his 3rd career start, first home start. How we physically know it's going to look is atrocious because the Saints are going to wear their all-black uniforms, including the black helmets, which are an absolute atrocity. So they're going to look terrible on the field. Like, aesthetically, they'll look terrible. But hopefully, Tyler Shough looks really good throwing the football, even without Shaheed, Cooks. So it'll be Olave, Vele, Tipton. Hat tip, Ross Jackson has a piece up over at LouisianaSports.net. Remember, always free over at LouisianaSports.net. If you look under the Saints section, I think it's on the homepage too. It's how Brandin Cooks' release impacts the Saints receiver room. So he runs through all of it. Like, obviously, you're going to lose speed options because you no longer have Rashid Shaheed or Cooks. And then he talks about what the roster looks like. And so he runs through, you've got Dante Pettis, Ronnie Bell, and Jaquan Jackson on the practice squad. They can all help you in special teams as well. Trey Palmer's on IR. Bub Means, Jalen Polk also on IR, not eligible to return this year. So some of that's a little bit of a future play like with Jalen Polk. But if you're just thinking about what could happen in the back half of this season, the one sort of interesting note that that Kellen Moore did talk about was elevating Kevin Austin from the practice squad. Here was more.
Yeah, Kevin's been a really steady player. He's played ball for us, obviously, going back to last year as well. And so Kevin, again, we felt good about Kevin as through this process. Felt like we had some depth. Obviously at this point these guys are being called upon, and we're excited about the opportunities that they're going to present. Kevin can do a number of things. He's a physical player. He can do some of the dirty work. He can do some of the blocking. Obviously, he's got good catch radius, and he's had production.
He's a young veteran at 25 years old. I like his size. 6'2", 200 pounds. Like one of the conversations we've had about Olave, Shaheed, Cooks, a bunch of small receivers. Kevin Austin is 6'2", 200 pounds. You get a bigger target. Devon Vele, who runs 4.47, I'm not sleeping on his speed, but is a bigger bodied receiver, right? So you're just giving a bigger target, like Kellen Moore said there, wider catch radius, which is all fantastic, should help Tyler Shough. We'll see ultimately who's active on game day, how many targets he'll have. And you got to figure they'll throw the ball to Alvin Kamara. They'll throw the ball to Taysom Hill. They'll throw the ball to Foster Moreau, Juwan Johnson. So who those targets go to is something also worth watching this weekend. But as Kellen Moore said, this is a good bite where he talked about Shough, who's just every day trying to improve.
I think it's just one of those, his leadership builds each week. Each time that he's in front of this group leading the charge, you can sense that. I think that's a great part of this thing. I think practice has been better and better each day. I think you're getting more and more comfortable with it. And now he's starting to, be able to make some of those adjustments here and there and have a great feel for this thing and anticipate what's coming. And I think our guys are building a good rhythm together.
For whatever it's worth, New Orleans has moved all the way to a 2.5-point favorite in this game now. It opened with Atlanta as a small favorite. It's moved, obviously, with the Penix injury. It's moved all the way to New Orleans, 2.5 now. So the 2-8 Saints favored by just under a field goal against the 3-7 Atlanta Falcons, who are on a 5-game losing streak. For whatever it's worth, the ESPN analytics, their matchup predictor gives Atlanta a 55% chance of winning the football game. I think because it's Atlanta, you're going to have a great crowd. Division games are always unpredictable. We saw that. The Saints were pretty miserable starting Tyler Shough, second career start. They went and had a great day and beat Carolina a couple of weeks ago. Carolina turns around and Bryce Young throws for 400 yards against Atlanta. So division games, there's always a degree of unpredictability because of the familiarity with the teams. So Sunday in the Dome, 3:25, we'll get a look at Tyler Shough in his first home game wearing the hideous all-black uniforms. But hopefully his performance looks a lot better than those uniforms. It would be hard for it not to be because those are an absolute atrocity. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.